So, there's this moment in episode 7 of Vinland Saga that will have you scratching your head. At first glance, it seems absurd to think that 20 to 30 Jam Vikings could carry an entire boat across a field, never mind the fact that they are running with it. Of course, we've all been told the tales of incredibly strong, savage Vikings that terrorized numerous villages of Europe to plunder riches. They even went as far as to raid religious sites due to their vast amount of wealth and insufficient defenses. But what you may not know is that Vikings were strategic with their attacks, often planning them out in advance by utilizing spies to determine when local customs/feasts were occurring, thus catching the villagers in a vulnerable disposition. Combine this with their longships that could traverse shallow waters, allowing them to swiftly raid a village and escape just as quickly, and they were nigh unbeatable. However, due to various complications, some rivers proved unnavigable. Not easily deterred, the Vikings employed unique techniques and brute strength to accomplish this seemingly impossible feat. The first method included putting wooden poles through oar holes to carry the boat to its desired location. It was strenuous work, even for a hardened Viking, but no price was too high for the elements of surprise. This method is all well and good for smaller boats, but bigger boats required a bit more ingenuity. This is when the Vikings implemented rollers, or trees that were cut down and stripped of all its branches so that the boat could roll across the land. They would do this by rolling the boat across the rollers, the trees, and then taking the last tree and putting it back in the front of the line, doing this continuously until they got to the destination that they so desired. By utilizing this technique, the Vikings could traverse large areas of land, and historians have demonstrated that this method was used in Russia to get to the Black Sea, in which they covered 10 kilometers of land. 10 fucking kilometers! Of course, these two methods are a far cry from what happened in Vinland Saga, especially considering that Askeladd is standing in the boat. Not cool, bro. What the fuck? Adding to the weight they had to carry. That being said, that's the beauty of an artistic medium. You can tell a real-ish story with creative nuances to keep the viewer entertained. As long as the characters seem real and their actions aren't too absurd, then impractical, diverting flourishes are welcomed and serve a useful purpose. That being said, what did you think of the Vikings carrying the boats in Vinland Saga? Was it too unrealistic to be taken seriously? Or an exhilarating sequence of events that did a good job of balancing realism with excitement? Let me know in the comments. I also want to give a shout out to my main duck, Probably. You may have seen him in the comments on many of my other videos, but he gave me the idea for this video, alerting me to the fact that Vikings actually did do these practices, which gave me the inspiration to do a little more diving and research into the subject. So shout out to Probably! Anyway, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But until next time, catch you on the flip side.